Welcome new teachers. We are the Office of Multilingual Learners. Our office supports Jcps and working with multilingual learners at the school and district level by building capacity with teachers and providing professional learning through PD sessions, coaching, and consultation. In this segment, we will define who our students are, provide information on the English Language Development Program, and describe our support. Just to help level set with terminology, multilingual learners are synonymous with English learners. A couple of years ago, our Board of Education adopted the shift to recognize the assets that our multilingual learners bring to the district, schools, classrooms, and communities by recognizing their linguistic and cultural diversity. With that shift follows more terminology shifts that include the renaming of our department to the Office of Multilingual Learners, or the OML, formerly known as the ESL department, and retitling the program to English Language Development, formerly known as English as a Second Language, ESL program. In JCPS, MLs, or multilingual learners, make up about 20% of the total student population, with over 20,000 MLs in the district. About 57% are in the elementary setting, 18% in middle school, and 25% in high school. The district has approximately 150 languages represented, with Spanish, Arabic, and Kinyarwanda being the top three, followed by Swahili, Nepali, and Somali. To be identified as multilingual learners, we screen students whose language is other than English with the WIDA screener. The OML Welcome Center gets the language information from the Home Language Survey, which all students complete one time at enrollment. The screener provides data that indicates whether or not our students need English language support to help remove language barriers that could potentially cause little to no access to content instruction delivered in English. MLs are students who is enrolled or preparing to enroll in an elementary school or secondary school, who was not born in the United States or whose native language is a language other than English, whose difficulties in speaking, reading, writing, or understanding English may be sufficient to deny the individual, 1, the ability to meet the challenging state academic standards, 2, the ability to successfully achieve in classrooms where the language of instruction is English, or 3, the opportunity to participate fully in society. Annually, all MLs are required to have their English language proficiency assessed until they reach the state's English attainment score. In the state of Kentucky, 4.5 is the WIDA Access composite score that indicates that multilingual learners have reached attainment and connects it to services. The access levels help teachers monitor language progress over the years and support decisions in placing students in appropriate classes or groups and instructional planning. The levels correlate to what MLs can do in English at each proficiency level, which help teachers know what students can do instead of what they can't do, promoting more of the asset-based thinking for our multilingual learners. For example, by knowing what MLs can do, teachers can differentiate instruction and provide appropriate scaffolds that will help them access the content, instruction, and learning. For example, if a level 2 ML can produce short phrases and sentences, the teacher can provide sentence starters or sentence frames to help with the writing and speaking production. If a level 1 multilingual learner can point to pictures and follow one-step directions, the teacher can ask WH questions and yes or no prompts. All multilingual learners are required to have a program service plan, or a PSP. A PSP is a legal document that describes the service type and the academic and language accommodations needed for both assessment and instructional purposes. A PSP can be amended throughout the year with data supporting the decision. PSPs are created with input from the classroom teacher, any other teacher that provides the ML with instructional support, as well as is conferred with the student's family. JCPS offers ELD programming for all MLs in all grades, K through 12, in JCPS schools. Service types can vary based on grade levels, school-specific programs, such as the Spanish bilingual program at Hawthorne Elementary, and if a student's parent has waived ELD services. You can find information on your MLs in Infinite Campus. Identified MLs will have a globe by their name. If you want to check on their specific status, you can pull up the EL tab under Index, and the expanded EL tab contains 4 sections: EL, which provides their EL status; EL Assessments provides a summary of access, KSA, and MAP data; EL Services and EL Accommodations. The EL tab contains the identified date and whether or not the parent chose to decline services. Parent-declined students are still active ELs. However, they do not receive direct services from an ELD teacher. Exited EL means that they reach the 4.5 attainment proficiency score. Pending indicates their identification is being processed. And not EL means the student went through the identification process but scored proficient on the screener and tested out and does not qualify for services. Another platform to find information on your MLs is Elevation. You can access Elevation through Clever. Teachers will be able to access information on MLs rostered to their class through Infinite Campus. ELD teachers have access to all MLs in their building. Elevation will provide you with their access scores and can-do descriptors. You can also see if they historically have been on track or off track towards the 4.5 access attainment score to exit ELD services. The Office of Multilingual Learners also has a division that provides interpretation and translation services called Language Services. You can contact them through the JCPS website. A translation library is available to all JCPS employees, where you can find many JCPS documents such as field trip permission forms and nurse consent forms. Documents in the translation library are available in the top 5 languages represented by our multilingual learners. Use their services and resources to support and provide families access to important information about their children's school and district policies. The Office of Multilingual Learners introduced the 4 key practices to support our mission of creating equitable learning environments that ensure multilingual learners are able to reach their highest potential. Supporting multilingual learners is a shared responsibility of all school-based professionals. These 4 key practices promote a systems approach to develop a culture of learning and equitable access for all ML students and families. Key practice 1, inclusive environment. Schools recognize that MLs bring unique assets to their school by valuing their culture and home language, and by reducing barriers in order to unite schools, families, and communities. Planning for your MLs. Schools incorporate systems and structures that facilitate family engagement and student well-being, and allow for collaborative opportunities for intentional planning, scheduling, and meetings between ELD and content teachers. 3. Scaffolds for your MLs. All teachers understand the language demands of the content standards and assessments. Content and ELD teachers collaborate, plan for, and implement the necessary support for MLs of all English language proficiency levels to successfully access the content. And 4, fostering independence. ELD teachers embed opportunities to increase academic language awareness in order to advance English language development, foster independence among their MLs through a variety of instructional practices. Students develop the ability to advocate for themselves and monitor their own learning. More information around the key practices is available through professional learning opportunities offered throughout the school year. These are the instructional specialists for each level. Carmen Cripps, Elementary; Molly Shackelford, Middle; and Drew Courtney, High. Support and coaching is provided by our office through our instructional leads. Please contact your instructional specialist and they will connect you with the appropriate ML lead for your school. Our office also provides district-wide professional development through monthly academies and resources. Make sure to check out our instructional website. Use the bit.ly on the slide. Thank you and welcome to JCPS.
Yeah.